I think I've always been one that's tried to lead from the front. I've never been one to shout my mouth off too much and that kind of stuff. Just try and get the job done and quietly pass on the knowledge that I can and have acquired over the years onto the guys that want to hear it. So that's, I suppose, in a nutshell, how I'd sum up how I've played my cricket. I've always believed that you play the game hard in the field without crossing boundaries. At the end of the day, you still want to have mates at the end of your career, and when you pop across to other countries and teams that you've played against, if you can go to most of the players you've played against and have a beer with them, I think you've played the game in the correct way, and I think I've done that. Yeah, it was. I'd probably planned it with Graham for a little while and spoke to Bouchy for a while and with Dave, and just tried to plan it correctly. It was totally my call. There was no outside influences or anything. I just felt I just lost that little bit of an edge on Test cricket, because mentally it is quite tough over the 5 days, and I've always been a person, if I can't give 100%, then I don't want to be bringing the team down. So I just felt that I'd had 18 wonderful years, and woke up and said, I think it's time. I think it is the right time. I think there's always going to be questions whether it is right or isn't right. And in my mind, I'm 100% convinced that it is. When I started the game or started playing for South Africa, I said I wanted to leave South African cricket in a better state than when I joined it. Hopefully I've done that. No, not in my wildest dreams. That first Test match that I played, I remember being a nervous little kid, and at that stage you don't know much about the game, you don't know much about your own game. Even when I played, garden cricket with my sister when I was a youngster and with my mates, you dream of playing for South Africa, but to play 166 Test matches, I don't think anyone ever dreams of that, and I've been very fortunate and lucky and blessed to be able to do that, and I'm just thankful for every game that I played. Every game that I played, I felt was a privilege right up until the last one, and always gave whatever I had for in certain situations. Probably throughout my career took a little bit of flack at times, but made decisions that I always thought was best for the team and what the team required, and not always, people didn't always agree with it, but at the time it was never selfish decisions. It was always what I thought was best at the time. I think it's probably because of my personality. I've played my whole career sort of being a low-key player and found that I've performed best at that. I'm never one that enjoys being in the media too much or fronting up too much. I enjoy just getting on with the job and leave that up to a few other guys that are a little bit more out there with their personalities. It was more my personality, and Cricket South Africa were brilliant like that. We came to an agreement on what the best way to do it was, that kept everybody happy, that I could still play the last game and as if it I was just playing a normal Test match, and it gave the people that enjoyed watching me over the years a chance to say goodbye. It gave Cricket South Africa a chance to do something nice for me. So I think we got the balance right, and I've got to thank Cricket South Africa for the way they went about it and respected what I wanted, and gave me the send off that I'd always dreamed of. No, I've never played the game for records and stats and all that kind of stuff. I've always played the game to try and make the best calls and play the situation of the game. Records have never been important to me. It's maybe one day when I'm now finished, I can look back with pride what I've achieved, but it was certainly never at the front of my thinking to try and beat certain records and that. No, he was an incredible player, and I don't think that'll get beaten very easily to do that. But very proud what I've achieved. To be just amongst those guys that have achieved what they have, 10,000 plus runs, it is something that I'm very proud of.